Hey guys, it's Jack here with Jack's Racing Projects, and today we have one simple question. Is Forza Motorsport fun? We all know that Forza Motorsport has its issues, whether it's not being able to tune in rivals, whether it's cars magically appearing in front of you on the track in practice sessions. We can talk about the issues where if you try to tune or make a livery, the game will crash. If you change your tires, the game will crash. Your car will randomly lose sound. There's a lot of issues with this game, and there are plenty of people talking about these issues that are currently plaguing the game. But for me, I play the game on the newest generation of Xbox, and I do have issues with the game. I have several. But to act like the game is completely unplayable, for those on some of those on PC, it really is. But for the most part, this game is a lot of fun. I had an absolute blast in this race, and it was a great time. But there are a lot of negative elements surrounding this game right now, and I just wanted to make a video coming out and talking about how this game has a great baseline. This game could be so much better. Where we're starting off now, we have close racing. We have a variety of cars. So there's a lot of stuff that can be expanded on and improved and make this game the game it really should have been. The game we were waiting 5 years on. So hopefully Forza comes up with some new stuff to help mitigate the game's current issues, adding in more content. The multiplayer is a little bit stale at the moment. They need to up the cars, up the variety. A week on each thing is possibly a little bit too long. They could have some changes there. They need to be a little bit more open in their dialogue, though. We have far too many notable players in the game just voicing their concerns with the game, especially with the aero wash. If that's going to be a thing in esports, it's going to be an absolute hellhole. Nobody's going to want to compete in it if that is the case. I spoke to Forza Europa, one of the first people very, very vocal about this aero wash issue. He's not even going to race in the multiplayer hoppers until it's fixed. So you have someone here who's one of the top players in your game who doesn't want to play it because the unrealistic aero wash effect. You can see that car just has no grip anytime a car gets beneath. Once you're within 7 cents of a second, the cars will have a aero wash. So right now with this car behind me, I'm actually losing grip from that car behind me. So there's almost like a little bit of an artificial catch-up built into the game. Now, if it took effect like within a tenth or 0.2 of a second, like when someone was really on you, I don't think I would mind it. I don't think that's super unrealistic. And I don't think that's anything really to be too concerned about, because I feel like this will get addressed in the next patch with the amount of people that are voicing the concerns about it. But all we have to do is just make it a little bit smaller, and it's realistic. And I will say, I think they made the draft slightly too weak. They updated the draft as well. Now, some of the good news on stuff they are fixing, they nerfed the Golf TCR touring car. So I'm gonna have a video out on that car later, but the Golf TCR has been given a power handicap, which much like shows up in multiplayer, it'll show the car having, I think it's 370 horsepower, but when you open it up in the lobby, the car will only have 335. So the car is balanced significantly better, and it makes the Lincoln Co. and the Audi probably the cars of choice. Most of the time, if you hop in those lobbies now, you're just going to see nothing but Audi. So the good news is, if you like the Volkswagen Golf, you can now use it without, having those looks from everyone else in the lobby. So that is some good news on that front. Now, the biggest gripe I have with Forza is not even something that happened in-game or a glitch or anything else. It was their decision to remove cars out of the game that were ready for the game, but they removed them so they could add them back in as a new to Forza DLC car. And that part to me made me the most angry. And if you're wondering what cars I'm talking about, it is specifically the Acura ARX-5 DPI, the number 31 Cadillac DPI, and the Oreca 07 LMP2. I believe they also even showed the Mercedes a year before this game was released in gameplay trailers for this game. These cars were locked through time-based challenges as DLC. So to me, that honestly was the biggest gripe, because you can't just show off these cars and then not give us access to them. Because that's what got me excited about the game. I am a big sports car racing fan. I love prototype racing. And knowing that, I was like, oh, day one, I'm gonna be able to hop in the DPIs, which, by the way, are not in any other video game besides Grid. So this is the first chance anyone really has to play with these outside of mods. And these cars are locked behind this paywall for weeks. We still don't have the McLaren in the game, a car that should have been ready for a while. It's just, there's some issues with this game that really, really do annoy me. But does that take away from the fun? No, not at all. This game is loads of fun. For me, hopping in the Formula Mazdas was an absolute blast. The touring car series is super fun. The S-Class, I had a blast in the S-Class, even though there's just a couple cars that absolutely dominate. Maybe Forza can do something about that in the future, but for now, it's great. The lobbies are a lot of fun. Now, the balancing in the lobbies, yes, it does need to be addressed. The balancing is a little bit questionable sometimes, but for the most part, it's getting better. I think after the first update, the amount of just complete potatoes in my lobby has significantly shrunk, but also the player base has. It's been getting harder and harder to get into these lobbies, and hopefully some new content or something, or a new patch will bring some of these players back, but we're starting to get some smaller lobbies now, which will bring back the issues of having too many people of varying skill into the same lobby. So hopefully that can get addressed and we can get back to more full lobbies. I remember in the first week on the game, when we got it 5 days early, I was playing and every single lobby would have 24 cars. Every single race would finish with 20 plus cars. And that's just not something we're seeing anymore, which is a bit of a shame. But I want to talk a little bit about this race now. This race was fun from start to finish, making my way up through the field, having this epic battle with the Audi. It's just been a blast having this close racing when the game works like it's supposed to and the cars just feel right. It's an absolute blast. So I highly recommend, if you haven't tried it yet and you're on Xbox, download it on Game Pass. There's no reason not to. If you're on PC, I would not tell you to buy this game yet. And you know, I would wait, but it's getting there. Hopefully this next patch really brings us closer to where we want to be so we can have more fun racing. So we're just going to let this battle play out and we're going to talk about what's coming up later in this week. So Wednesday, 9 o'clock, starting at 9 o'clock, we will be streaming the League race. My internet where I'm currently located is not great. I'm on that Elon Musk internet, that Starlink and we will see if I'm able to get that up. I did post a video earlier today, but it took about 3 hours to upload. So we will keep our fingers crossed as we wind this race down. So coming through to the final laps here, we have the GT race tomorrow. I'm going to probably skip, but next week I will be starting that series TCR touring car class. And then on Friday night, I will be going to do another stream. Hopefully you guys can make it, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We had about 8 or 9 of you guys come through last Friday, and it was an absolute blast. I can't thank you guys enough again for showing up. It was just a great time, and it's good to be able to meet up and race with lots of different people who can compete. I mean, it's just, that's what we want. We want people, no one wants to come in here into these lobbies and just dominate. It's not fun. That's why I tend to start at the back in most of these races if there's not people running fast, super fast lap times. Luckily in this race, I managed to make my way through the field and still have some people with some pace. And we ended up having an amazing battle here on the last lap. So here we go. We're going to go for a couple of switchbacks. So I'm going to come out up on the inside. He's going to go on the outside. I'm going to put my foot down early to take the inside for the next corner. And I'm going to try and lunge in and try and make sure I get the straight. But nope, he's going to stick there. And we're just going to keep going all the way through. Still side by side. A little bit of contact, but we managed to make it work. We're going to get the power back down once we can get that bog to hit. And we are going to fling this car through the last left-hander here. Try to make it work. Now we just have to make sure we keep this ground as low as we can. Hold the ground, hold the ground, hold the ground. And then we're going to mash the throttle out after parking that apex, making sure he has no way to get by. And that's the end of the race. So 2 things I'm going to leave you guys with. There is a Discord that I am leaving in a link down in the description below. And if you guys want to participate in the stream on Friday night, please shoot me a message on Xbox, and I hope to see you there.